Good morning, dear children. Are you all happy with? How are you all? Fine? So, I know that everyone is feeling very happy and excited to cover this last chapter. Am I right? So, this is a small topic and we'll conclude our chapter in this session. Okay? So, all are waiting for that. Tell me, what is environment? Yes. Everything that surrounds us forms our environment. That is the first topic we discussed. Then we discussed about the ecosystem. Do you remember what is that ecosystem? Yes, interaction of living things and their physical environment. That is with biotic and abiotic factors. Biotic means living and abiotic means non-living. You remember that? Yes, then after that, what we go with? Pollution. Yes, so what is that pollution? Yes, pollution means that is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. So, these harmful materials are called as pollutants. Do you remember that? Introduction of or that unwanted harmful materials into the atmosphere or to the environment. Okay. Then, what is the first one we discussed about the pollution? Air pollution. Got it? So, air pollution is caused when factories and industrial units release smoke containing harmful gases like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, and oxides of nitrogen. Then, the next one, water pollution. So, in this water pollution, we learned that toxic chemicals and substances like arsenic, mercury, and lead are present in industrial discharge. So, when these chemicals enter these water bodies, what happen? They cause water pollution. You remember all these, my children? Okay, then we move to the soil pollution. So, soil pollution results from excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. You remember that farmers or that in the field they use this fertilizers and pesticides. Okay, so these substances enter the food chain and find their way into the human body. Now we'll move to the noise pollution. Noise pollution is caused by automobile horns. Yes, so like from aeroplane, then from machines and from loud music. So it can result in deafness. Now we'll move to the environmental conservation. What is that? Yes, it is very essential to make a sincere effort towards environmental conservation. So each and every one have to decide that we have to control that. We have to protect our environment. Okay. After that, we discussed with two kinds of waste. One is biodegradable waste. What is that waste? Yes, that waste that can be broken down by microbes or microorganisms present in the soil. Example, paper, wool, vegetable peel, etc. Then the next one is non-biodegradable waste. So these are the waste that cannot be broken down by microbes present in the soil. Microbes, or we can say microorganisms. So these waste are made from chemicals. Okay. Do you remember the examples? Last class I told you about the examples. Example, plastic and glass. Yes, these are the two types of waste. Then after that we discussed with the methods of waste disposal. In that we learned about the landfill, then incineration, then after that composting. Then we learned about the benefits of composting. Then after that we learned about the vermicomposting. Do you remember all these? Do you remember? Yes, no? So what are the benefits of composting? Yes, composting ensures the waste that is produced in kitchens is not carelessly thrown and left to rot. Then we learned that it recycles plant nutrients and returns them to the soil. Then organic fertilizers do not pollute soil. These are the benefits of composting. So today our topic is about the 3 R's of waste disposal. So let's move on to that. Okay, so be ready. So here we are going to know about the 3 R's of waste disposal. From the picture it is clear that which is that 3 R: reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay, so in addition to landfills, incineration and compost making, there are different waste management options that depend on the judicious use of waste. So let's see what is that different methods. Okay, so these include methods like reduction, reuse and recycling. Okay, so we are going to know about the reduce, reuse and recycling. Okay, the first one, let's see here about the reduce. That means how to reduce this waste. So in this method, efforts are made to teach the community to generate less waste. Okay, so this can be achieved by avoiding disposable goods and buying goods that will last longer. So goods that have been packed with foil and plastic should be avoided to reduce waste generation. For example, when you go to buy something from the shop, what you will do when you buy things, definitely you will be asking for a plastic kit, am I right? So you have to avoid that so we can reduce waste. Got it? Now let's talk about the reuse. So this is an option in which you can reuse things instead of throwing them. I know that in this lockdown period, most of them have tried on these items, which is not throwing away. Instead of throwing away, you are making use of it, is it? For example, paper from old exercise books may be made into scribble pads. You know that, is it? Some papers, if you find out, you are not throwing it away, but instead of that, what you are doing it, making it as for your own use. That means we are reusing that one. Okay, then other things like cloth table napkins may be used instead of paper napkins. Okay, so we are reusing it. Okay, so in that picture it is clearly given that some of the pictures. Then we'll move to the recycle. What is that? Recycling involves conversion of used and discarded materials into new useful products. Okay, for example, we can say that paper can be pulped and made into decorative pieces. You know that paper can be mashed into with water and we can make it as a new paper. What we used, we can again make it into a new paper. So that is what we are recycling. Now let's see some of the advantages of recycling waste. Okay, so what are the advantages? It leads to less utilization of raw materials. That means instead of buying new paper, we are using the same paper. Then we can use both sides of the paper to write. Then makes the surroundings cleaner and healthier. Then saves on landfill space. Okay, then saves money. Then reduces the amount of energy required to manufacture new products. You got it, my dear children? So if we are keeping limited our resources, then it will be good to protect our environment. Children, you got an idea about this? Okay, no? So this is how we have to use this. We have to use the 3 R's of waste disposal, that is reduce, reuse, recycle. Got it? So reduce, we have to reduce the waste. Then reuse means instead of throwing them, we have to reuse it. Then recycling means, yes, if the things are available for again keep on using, we have to recycle. So here we are going to know the steps taken to protect the environment. As it is given here, the governments have to take some serious steps for over exploitation of food and water and other natural resources. Then a safe environment plays an important role in the existence of life on the planet. Then what all things? Yes, we have to continue using of natural resources and can lead to the biggest imbalance in the atmosphere. Then finally, protect the environment means making efforts to save our surroundings. These are the things we have to save our environment. Okay, now we have to see little bit more. You know that the whole nation is becoming increasingly aware of the need for protecting our environment. So here certain these steps I have read to you. The main environmental problem in India are related to air and water pollution, then degradation of resources, threat to plant and animal life, solid waste disposal and sanitation. So the major cause of environmental problems being faced by the country are increasing deforestation, industrialization, urbanization and transportation. So these are the major causes they have been faced. You know that deforestation means cutting down of trees. Okay, then all these clear now, children? Okay, now we'll move to the next point, that is awareness about the danger to the environment was first reflected at the Earth Summit held in June 1992 at Rio de Janeiro. A global action plan called Agenda 21 was adopted. Okay, so have you heard of this Earth Summit? Have you heard of it? Earth Summit, that is actually the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. Okay, so we can say UNCED. So that is what we call that Earth Summit. They have been having a conference over there. Okay, now the spirit of this plan has been included in our national policy. Then a wide network of air and water quality monitoring stations are being made under National Ambient Air Quality Management, Global Environment Monitoring System and other programs have been set up. Clear? Then finally, the Supreme Court of India has set up green benches, that is judicial forums, in different high courts in India to deal with problems concerning the environment. Okay, so children, you have to keep this in mind. What are the steps to taken to protect the environment? Okay, so just keep in mind about all these. Then we know that definitely we have to take care of our environment. Okay, so by this we have completed our chapter, our environment. Now your question time is, let me ask you the question. Here I have been used for the living and non-living. Two other terms I have used here. So can you find out the word for living and non-living? One another word. Okay, so it's your time to find out.